Well, hi everyone, 4:02 on this Saturday afternoon, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2026. Our weather impact alert update begins with a tornado watch that has been issued for parts of East Texas until 9 p.m. Now, it does include Smith County and Gregg County and Upshur County, but I got to tell you, the line of thunderstorms that would prompt a severe thunderstorm warning, such as a tornado warning or something of that nature, is almost gone from these three counties. So it's interesting that the tornado watch included all three of those counties, but also note that sometimes when they draw those boundaries for those watches, they can include little clips of those counties and not the entire county. But when that product comes out, it includes the whole county. I don't understand that. I don't know why they do that. I like to look at the aerial outline of the tornado watch or the severe thunderstorm watch. It gives you a better idea of what's actually in the watch, and I don't believe Tyler would be included in that, since the thunderstorms, our strongest thunderstorms of the day in Tyler, have moved on through. By the way, thanks for watching us here on our Facebook page, also on the YouTube channel and on CBS19 Plus as we continue to stream this. Please, if you have any questions or comments on our live stream here, please let us know. We'll try to answer those as fast as possible. We'll stream here for just a little bit. Already a few people coming on here, and what's going on? Nothing but sunshine. Mike, where are you? Mike Pinkerton, let me know. Hoping we're not getting a second round. Rob Williams, no. Will Athens, Texas get any more? Just rain and a few thunderstorms. That's it. All right. So I'll show you radar here in just a second. Severe thunderstorm warning till 4:15. It looks like we may have just gotten an update to this, but that does include Gregg, Harrison, Rusk, and Smith County. It is the very farthest southeastern portion of Smith County, and it looks like it's going to be also all of Gregg County at this time. So a couple of different things going on. We also just had a severe thunderstorm warning popped for Angelina, Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County. Now, that would be the area down there, as I pointed out earlier today, that I'd have more concern over a potential tornado spin-up than, say, up here to the north. So let me go through this severe thunderstorm warning. That, again, is going to be Nacogdoches, Panola, Rusk, and Shelby County. Let's see how this breaks down, because again, it's not going to be the entire county. When we do what we call these polygon warnings or these boxes, sometimes it can sound for the whole county, or you think you're in the whole county is in that watch, but when you get down to it, what you're looking at is portions of the county. So for instance, the city of Lufkin is not in the severe thunderstorm warning. Doesn't mean that there couldn't be a strong thunderstorm that comes through there, but the city of Lufkin is not included in that Angelina County warning, nor is Nacogdoches at this point. It's the western part of Nacogdoches County, but if that line continues moving eastward, Nacogdoches County, or Nacogdoches, the city itself, would be in it. Henderson is in the severe thunderstorm warning, and Longview right now, watching those thunderstorms move right on through there. Gilmer, heaviest thunderstorms have moved through. Tyler, heaviest thunderstorms for the day again have moved through. The tornado watch is off to the south and to the southeast, these areas in red. But just to give you a recap on the severe thunderstorm warnings, Gregg, Harrison, Rusk, and Smith County till 4:15. We should be on through the time period where that severe thunderstorm warning will expire, and there may be another one that will be issued on down the line, possibly over toward Marion. Well, there is for Harrison, probably Marion County and points eastward from those areas. All right, I need to go back to the beginning and set this up again, and then run back through. Let's see, there's something new coming in from the Weather Service here. This is going to be a tornado warning for Harrison County, Texas, and Gregg County. All right, so what we need to do is get on the air. So let's contact our hub, okay? So let's get a hold of the hub, and then we will get on the air with this tornado warning that you're all watching right now. I'll zoom in on this area here for just to the east of the city of Longview. So it's likely going to be one of these little QLCS. So let me know in the booth as soon as we get on the air, but we need to get on CBS19, not just streaming, but also on the air with this tornado warning. Again, that's going to go until 4:30 for Gregg and Harrison County. Let's zoom on down there. And we're going to be joining CBS19 in about 30 seconds with this tornado warning. All right, so let's go into what we call our storm tracker mode. So you can see our little green here next to that red. All right, yeah, we're going to roll that animation for us. Well, hi everyone, Brett Anthony here in our CBS19 Weather Center. We just had a tornado warning issued for Gregg and Harrison County, and that goes until 4:30 this afternoon, so about the next 23 minutes. Right there is the little couplet that we are carefully watching just to the north of city of Longview. So if you live in Hallsville, if you live in Longview, time now to take your shelter, take your CBS19 app, go into that shelter, maybe a radio or a portable television set, or a laptop computer, and watch along with us as we stream this tornado warning. And again, that's Gregg, Harrison County until 4:30. Let me zoom in just a little bit further. That couplet right there on the northwest side of Longview is going to be right in here. In fact, I might be able to go down to street level for us. If you're in Longview right now, it's very important that you do take your shelter. That's going to be McCann Road. So it seems to be sandwiched between McCann Road and 259 and Lobo Stadium. So right in here, northwest side of Longview with that tornado warning till 4:30. This storm is going to be moving off to the east at about 40 miles an hour, but that is our primary concern right now. It's going to be just inside the 281 loop, Highway 259 coming on up here. Here's Halpine Road, downtown Longview, Cotton Street's farther to the south of that couplet, but it's right in there that we're seeing that couplet. Let me see if I can put any kind of eyeballs or winds on this and get an estimation of what we're looking at inside that storm. So tornado warning till 4:30 was just issued at 4:05. It's going to be tough since we have the warning up here. I'll widen it back out just a little bit. It's east of Greggton, not to worry. In Greggton, not to worry. In Teneryville or Spring Hill, you are not currently in that tornado warning. But the city of Longview is also, I'd say if you live in near East Cotton Street or anywhere here along Interstate 80, I would want to also get into my shelter and stay there until we see the storms pass. Judson Road right now, here right on up here toward 281, or it should say 259, that's not that right there, but right there around Judson Road is where that circulation is crossing over at this time. So if you live in Gregg County, again, tornado warning for Gregg County, Harrison County, that goes until 4:30. I'll widen things out here. We'll try to put a little track on this certain part of the cell that is moving out of out of that area currently. So Longview eastward roughly at about 40 miles an hour. So this thing is moving pretty quickly. Let me see if I can get some cities on here for you. And these are going to be estimations. So Hallsville about 428, Bel Air if it continues in that movement at 456, and Marshall at about 505. So those are the cities that are included, including the city of Longview. Let me go back and roll this into motion. This is along a leading edge of some thunderstorms here that have some gusty winds. So likely what's going on here is we have some strong wind gusts that are coming from the thunderstorm. You might be able to see those really bright green returns here. Those bright green returns are some very strong winds. So, I mean, straight line winds up here toward Harleton, but then there's just little wrap back in here as some winds have turned back toward and away from the radar, but toward Longview as those winds kind of surge back toward the radar on the southeast side of that storm. So there's that big, and this happens often, you can have a surge of wind coming in here, straight line winds, and Harleton may catch some of these straight line winds here, but then we see that little bit of a, and this may last 5-10 minutes. It could be that quick of a spin up and then go away. So we may see this sort of spin up and then dissipate or be canceled even before we get to 4:30, but we will certainly stay on the air till 4:30, considering especially the how close this is to the city of Longview and a big population center like that. It is just going to stay north of Gum Springs, but Gum Springs, you are in the tornado warning right now. You may want to go to your shelter and stay there until you can get a better, clearer view of where this storm is going. We haven't gotten an update on any of the radar images here in about the last 5 minutes, so I'm waiting on that. There went the scan. It should update here pretty quickly. Anything from the Weather Service, they are saying a quick update on the Gregg, Harrison County tornado warning. The rotation isn't very strong with the storm. However, it has been persistent over the past 10 minutes or so, and there was a decent notch in reflectivity over the city of Longview, so we felt a tornado warning was appropriate. Okay, so that's why it's hard to see really much there. Just sort of a wide circulation when you look at it, but it was right over the city of Longview. So better safe than sorry when it comes to some of these storms like this, especially on a day when you can have these quick moving thunderstorms racing through an area, and when they do, they can just push out maybe a strong wind gust or two, and then again wrap in just a quick spin up, a little vortex lobe that just kind of spins up real quickly. And you can see the line of showers and thunderstorms is trying to push out, bulge out. And as it does, that's where we're getting those stronger winds. Now, if you were watching some of our streams earlier today, I did note some stronger low-level winds that would be moving near Interstate 20 and up to the north, closer to Shreveport and the Arklatex about this time. We're also going to watch this area down here from Jacksonville to the west of Nacogdoches. There could be another one of these little notch tornadoes that pops up there. But currently, that tornado warning that is right now in effect, and that goes until 4:30 for Gregg and Harrison County. But through Rusk County, western part of Rusk County, the city of Jacksonville, the heaviest part of this storm has already moved through there. So I got to tell you that once the storms move through, the city of Tyler is in the clear. Even though Smith County was put into the tornado watch, the city of Tyler is in the clear. These showers and thunderstorms back here are not going to be part of that. The strongest wind field that we're seeing that would support these quick spin-ups is currently right where you see that line of thunderstorms east of Palestine and now moving over toward Henderson. And now it looks like what may have happened here is we're going to replace that tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible tag. I'll wait and see if that gets added to it. But a new severe thunderstorm warning just came out, and it's going to be right here. Let me see if I can click on this and get us an idea of what we're looking at. So Gregg, Harrison, still includes Smith County, just the far southeastern corner of Smith County in this reissue here. So the city of Tyler is not included in that. Let me give you some other cities around that are not going to be included in that part of the new severe thunderstorm warning. So Bullard would not be included in that. Henderson would be. New Chapel Hill may just be on the edge of that. Overton is behind it. White House is behind the new severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 5 o'clock. So those Kilgore, right behind that the strongest line. All right, so Kilgore is really behind the severe thunderstorm warning. But here's what I'm talking about. See this little notch here? So that's a little burst of wind coming out. And at the same time, the winds can swirl back in toward the thunderstorm. It could be inflow into the storm here. When that happens, we could see a little spin up. So that is something that has to be watched carefully. Let me show you what's going on here. I'm not seeing much there. This is more like straight line winds out of the Kilgore storm currently. So I'm not real super concerned with that storm at this time. There is a little bit of an embedded kind of spin flaring up there. North of Henderson, though, if we just kind of sample what we're seeing here in terms of straight line winds, 35, 40 miles an hour. Remember, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning, but you can have some weaker winds than 58 miles an hour. But still, that's tornado warning because it was so close to the city of Longview. The National Weather Service felt it was imperative to issue the tornado warning at this time. Let me go on up there. That's a curious little thing that I see drawing up here. It looks like that little bit of a curl has come back in that couplet. Northeast now of Longview. Let's go back in a little bit tighter. So it looks like it has strengthened maybe up just a little bit. Sometimes these pulse type storms like this will do this, not pulse type storms, but the storm as it surges forward and then eases up a little bit can go through recycling, and so you'll have a little bit of a difference. This is going to be the 281 loop, so it's moved outside really of the city of Longview. Continuing moving to the east at 40 miles an hour, so Hallsville was in line for that at about 4:25 to 4:30. It was headed over toward Marshall in about that 4:30 to 4:35 time frame. So that tornado warning right there, again, that circulation's rather broad, probably about 3-4 miles wide, maybe a little bit even wider than that when I look at it. So if it had been tighter and a little bit stronger and a little bit brighter, we'd be a little more concerned, but not so at this point. It looks like it's broad, but it's over an area where a lot of folks live. So time to take your precautions, time to go to your safe place when you can. And we're going to be okay. If storms cause some anxiety for you, you'll be fine as long as you're in your safe place. You're not running outside to look at a storm like this. And again, this is such a broad rotation, such a rotation that just doesn't have that strong of an indication that it's going to put down anything imminent in terms of a tornado. So just a precautionary tornado warning right now, north of Hallsville, out Highway 80. That's just going to keep tracking in that direction. Let me widen it back out. I'll go back to a different radar mode here in just a second so we can see what we're looking at, what we're talking about here. Here's the reflectivity. So this is just purely looking at the types of precipitation inside the storm. And the idea that we get here is just these little inflow notches into the storm. There's stronger winds at about 5,000 feet off the surface that are pushing the storm and accelerating it. And so within the last hour, we've seen the whole line accelerate forward. And so that's why now we're going to see these little bumps in that line. And that's where we're going to see these stronger wind gusts, perhaps some damaging wind gusts as we head through the rest of the afternoon. But the big picture on this, you'll notice how fast this is now going. We're talking about a severe thunderstorm warning till 5 p.m. So by 5 p.m., this is already starting to approach the Louisiana border. This is approaching western parts of Panola County. Down here in deep East Texas by 5 p.m., you're talking about that storm cutting through Nacogdoches County, and then it'll start to move into Shelby and San Augustine and Sabine County as we go into the 5 and 6 o'clock time frame. Again, once you get rid of the line of thunderstorms here and these stronger winds that support it, I don't expect redevelopment of tornadic storms back here toward Waco and Palestine, Athens, or Canton, or those areas would have been placed into the tornado watch. But Smith County was, just because we still have the leading, or had at the time the watch was issued, the leading edge of those thunderstorms pushing through here. And you can see that little bit of a circulation being picked up by our Titan indicator. I'll go in here on this Tighter and look at Longview itself. And we'll again go inside that storm, dissect it, and there it is. So there's some rotation there. Again, got a little bit brighter up in this area, but I have a feeling this is more or less, this was the area that we were more primarily concerned with. But when you have downburst energy, downburst winds coming in, yeah, they can swirl, and we can certainly see that swirl at times. But I would be curious here. Let me see what the wind speeds are like if I sample those in that area. Well, that's going to be hard to do because, again, it's covered up by the severe thunderstorm warning, so we got to turn off that severe thunderstorm warning. But if we could, we'd look at that and we'd be able to see that we would have those winds probably in excess of about 55 to 60 miles an hour. By the way, the tornado warning now just for Harrison County until 4:30. So Harrison County, Gregg County has been dropped from the tornado warning. It is now just Harrison County till 4:30. So the next 11 minutes, let me go in on that so you can see it's cleared out of Gregg County. There's the Gregg County line. There's the city of Longview. And that couplet that we were watching has now moved across into the Harrison County area. And here's Hallsville, north of Highway 80. We've got that tornado warning until 4:30. Again, it could be extended, but wait and see exactly if this area grows in intensity or if it weakens. It's remained pretty consistent. It's been persistent, and that's the other reason that that tornado warning was issued. That wide circulation has been persistent now for about the last 20 minutes as it moved across Gregg County, but it's just not strong enough yet to produce a tornado, but worthy of it just in case. Sometimes these are preemptive warnings that will get issued just to stay ahead of the game. You don't want anybody kind of catching up later after the storm has moved through and caused some damage, certainly. So that is why that tornado warning was issued. And now a new scan comes in. It looks a little bit weaker, but if you were in the city of Hallsville, I'd go to my safe place right now until that circulation passes over. So you're talking about probably the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then it will be out of the Hallsville area and moving east. Seems to be hugging Highway 80 here as it goes through and moves to the east. All right, let me go back because I'm ignoring the whole big picture here of these other thunderstorms that have created quite the thunderstorm warning from Marion County, really the southern, just that little bit of Cass County into Marion, most of Harrison County, western half of Panola County, almost all of Rusk County, and then down into Nacogdoches County, and it looks like just a little sliver of Cherokee County. City of Jacksonville is behind those storms. They've moved past the city of Jacksonville, so if you live there, you're okay. On the southern flank of this, sometimes we get these what we call tail end Charlies in the chasing business, and you could get a little bit of a spin up down here. Right now, Houston County has no warning on that at the time. So that's good news. If you're in Nacogdoches, keep an eye back to that storm. Nacogdoches had a little bit of clearing earlier today. Temperatures popped into that 72 to 74 degree range. That's all it's taking right now. We do have that low level wind field that's coming in, increasing the wind shear, and just that little uptick in instability is also creating some threat for severe weather for the rest of the afternoon. All right, let's go over to meteorologist Joel Robinson, who has joined me in the Weather Center. Joel, welcome aboard. It has been an interesting afternoon.
It sure has. Yeah, we're watching this line of strong, just now severe thunderstorms rolling through the area, and we have a tornado warning that's going to continue until it's going to go just outside of Longview now for Harrison County until 4:30. We're watching some occasional signals here of some rotation here. And we're also just kind of watching, especially over deep East Texas, where we're starting to get a little bit more wind energy going. There's a little bit more just energy to really take advantage of when it comes to the winds. And of course, for these thunderstorms to really start to get going, and they're really starting to become a little bit more organized from Rusk County all the way into southern parts of Cherokee County, and continuing further to the south into Houston and Trinity counties. Now again, it's that little area there that we're going to have to really watch for at this point, as the shear is starting to go up, the wind energy is starting to increase, we're starting to get a little bit more clearing, the temperatures are going up, so that's going to present a little bit more of a favorable environment for tornadoes to develop. Now we again do have a tornado watch in effect for much of East Texas until 9 o'clock tonight. So we're going to be watching this round of thunderstorms to move through, perhaps maybe occasional additional cells that could develop as well just behind this line, just kind of here and there. We're going to be watching that into this evening, but for now we still have severe thunderstorm warnings that continue until 5 o'clock for Gregg, Harrison, Panola, and Rusk County. We also have another one that continues for Angelina, Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County until 4:45. So we are going to continue to watch this main line move through. It's ahead of a cold front, and we have additional rounds of thunderstorms that will be a possibility just behind that as well. Yeah, quite an interesting afternoon. Lots of heavy rainfall. We're expecting at least 1 to 2 inches of rain with this, so some good beneficial rain, but certainly not the best timing considering it is Valentine's Day, but certainly got to be weather aware into the rest of tonight, especially given that tornado watch. And the Storm Prediction Center has also added a little bit more of East Texas in a 5% risk. That basically means there's a 5% chance within 25 miles of a certain point within a shaded area of a tornado occurring. So that elevates their tornado risk just a little bit. We're already seeing a tornado warning that continues to be in effect for Harrison County, and that risk also continues further to the south into deep East Texas. Let's go back into this tornado warning here just for western parts of Harrison County here. We'll go over into the velocity. If we can take that full, that'd be awesome. We'll take a look at this signature here. And yeah, it's kind of weak right now, but you'll notice that green and red. That's what we look for when it comes to tornadoes and just rotation in the radar. Just outside of Hallsville, just right north of Highway 80. Definitely want to make sure to take shelter as this continues to roll through. We're going to check debris tracker real quick. Seeing some light indications of what could be possibly some debris in there. It could also be some, could also be a little bit of hail as well. I think mainly it could be some objects closer to the ground where we could see maybe a brief tornado on the ground at this time. It's a very weak signature, but we're going to be watching that very closely. It's just northwest of Hallsville. Hallsville, you're definitely going to want to make sure you are in your safe spot as we continue to track this storm as it continues to go through.
All right, just got this from the National Weather Service. They're watching. Look, go to the north end of this cell here, up into Marion County toward Lake of the Pines. There's going to be a bookend feature up to the north that possibly that the Weather Service is watching that they may issue a tornado warning on. But that's going to be north up toward Lake of the Pines, up here toward Avenger. Also, right in this area here, just east of Ore City. So it wasn't here, but that looks fairly weak too. But they've been watching this area as it moves eastward. Right now, that is under a severe thunderstorm warning till 5 o'clock for Gregg, Harrison, and Panola County. Just getting some questions in the chat about the city of Longview. City of Longview is in the clear. So if you were in your shelter right now in the city of Longview, as we instructed when we came on with this tornado warning, you are good to go. You're clear. It is raining. It is thundering there. But the threat, that circulation has moved out of the city of Longview. No more tornado warning in Gregg County. It has shifted over, as Joel was telling you about, into Harrison County. Public service statements were going out, city of Marshall, and also sirens going off in Marshall with the tornado warning in effect. As we zoom down in here, Marshall's going to be real close to Interstate 20, and so the storm has not yet moved into Marshall. It just moved out of Hallsville, and so as it moves toward Marshall here, what we'll see is those the skies darken. It'll get a little bit ominous looking, and then you'll have the line of showers and thunderstorms coming through. So right now along Interstate, there's Marshall off to the east along 59. So actually the trajectory of the storm looks like it would take it to the southwest of Marshall. But I would say at this point, you still have a chance to see some very strong winds, and you could still see the potential for the spin up. Marshall is under a severe thunderstorm warning until 5 p.m. We have about 2.5 minutes to go on this tornado warning in Harrison County. They dropped the tornado warning. Here's what will happen. We will go back to regular programming on CBS19, and then we'll continue streaming over on CBS19 Plus, also on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So you can just pick up the coverage right there. If you were watching on television and you now want to know what's going to happen and transpire past this point when the tornado warning expires at 4:30, we'll just go over and follow us there. Lakeport right now, thunderstorms, Kilgore thunderstorms. If you have any reports of any damage and you can do that safely, please let us know about it. Otherwise, we have not heard of any damage. We have not heard from any storm spotters of anything seen other than what radar has indicated so far this afternoon. And as Joel has pointed out, there might be some leaves flying, little limbs flying, a lot of wind. I mean, we're getting winds that are in excess of 45, 50, 55, maybe even up to 60 miles an hour with the severe thunderstorm warning. So there's certainly a possibility that, oh, there's something there. There's a little more. How's that correlate with the, that probably looks a little displaced because it's outside of the warned area. Yeah, it's not going to be anything. Sometimes that catches your eye, and so you look at that. But again, we're running up at about a minute, 15 seconds to go. Let's see if the Weather Service is getting any indication of what they're going to let this. I would imagine they will allow this tornado warning to expire at 4:30, especially since that circulation has remained so broad and has not tightened up. It's been pretty consistent, yes. So they may go with a severe thunderstorm warning where they tell us that there is a tornado possible tag on that. But again, we'll go back to regular programming on CBS19. The information scrolls across the bottom of your screen. We welcome you to follow us on over to CBS19 Plus, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel, where we will continue to track these thunderstorms for a few more minutes as they move to the east. And then we'll have to reset everything and kind of evaluate, look at everything that we've got to see, and then come back on with another stream here as we get into the early evening hours. But so far, we've had just let's widen it all out here for the severe thunderstorm warnings, because I want to show you just, I mean, you can see the large area that we have under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. So that little bit of Gregg County is left in that. But really, the worst of that storm has moved out of Gregg County. So that's into Harrison County. That's also going to be over here into Marion County, and then west Panola County. New tornado warning till 5 p.m. for Harrison County. All right, so we'll stay on with this then for at least another half hour, so the folks over in Marshall are safe, and anyone along Interstate 20. By the way, if you know anyone who's perhaps leaving Shreveport and driving back or toward Longview, tell them to pull aside, find a sturdy structure, wait till that storm passes overhead. You do not want to be on Interstate 20 driving through this. Even if you didn't have a tornado, the winds that could be gusting in this storm could be of severe nature, up to about 60 miles an hour, and that could easily knock over a tractor trailer, cause blinding rain, and then if something did spin up on the highway with all the pine trees that are just along Interstate 20 here, that can sometimes be dangerous. I was talking with a member of the National Weather Service earlier, and sometimes it's not the tornado here in East Texas that does a lot of the damage and causes a lot of injuries. It's our tall pine trees that fall following the storm or as a result of the storm that fall on structures and can fall onto cars and things of that nature, fall across roadways. So we do battle that along with the winds, as we know. So now the Gregg County, western part of Harrison County is out of the tornado warning. City of Hallsville, if you live in Hallsville, you can come out of your shelter. You are fine. If you live here along Highway 43 and Highway 80, please head to your shelter and stay there until we can give you the all clear. Also over on 59. Now Marshall, it's a tricky situation here because the sirens are going off, and so the inclination is that you'll want to go to your safe place. And by the way, we have joined a picture-in-picture here so you can watch programming as we continue to follow this storm. The golf tournament continues on CBS19, so we'll keep our audio up as we have a public threat to the public with this tornado warning that is ongoing at this time. But you can also see if you're not in an area that has the tornado warning, you may think, well, you don't care, but you should care. You should care about your neighbors because the folks in Hallsville right now are getting hit with a pretty good windstorm at this time and also with tremendous rainfall, heavy rainfall. Lakeport also getting some heavy rainfall. Let's widen it back out again and give you the scope of the storm. Again, they've warned several counties from Gregg County to Harrison to Panola to Rusk County through 5 p.m. So another half hour for these warnings into Panola County, even wider and farther south than that. You'll see the lightning has picked up just a little bit. This is going to be something that we'll carefully watch here. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a QLC possible spin up in the north of Alto. So Alto would be in the clear, but the Cushing area, you've got inflow here, outflow. So that's an area that we'll keep an eye on. I'm sure the Weather Service is looking at that. In fact, a little bit south of there, there's some reds and greens kind of matching up, but it's real spread apart. So, but the lightning, if the lightning increases, that means that this thunderstorm is rotating and also has a fairly strong updraft to it, and it has the ability to sustain itself the farther east it moves. Nacogdoches, as I mentioned, was not under the current severe thunderstorm warning. Will likely go into severe thunderstorm warning somewhere between 5 and 5:30. So if you have a student at SFA, might want to give them a text, give them a call, tell them to get back to a public or a sturdy shelter to stay there until that line of thunderstorms moves through. Once the line moves through, that severe weather threat then ends. In fact, really, when we think about it, once the leading edge of these thunderstorms moves through, the real true severe weather threat also comes to an end. We're not looking at any supercellular thunderstorms. That didn't materialize today. It really has been all about the straight line winds that have developed on the leading edge of these thunderstorms. Right there is Highway 69, so coming out of Alto toward Pollock, heavy rainfall at this time. Strong updraft, as I noted, in that storm, and by our Titan indicator, by that increased lightning that we're seeing. So as those thunderstorms move east, expect blinding rainfall on Highway 59 coming into Appleby and Nacogdoches. And if you're on Pollock or know somebody that's going to be driving to Alto, or you're in Alto right now thinking you need to head south, wait about a half hour, let that storm get out of there before you start to head out to the south, because we've got to deal with that. Let's widen it out just a little bit further, Joel. We get that big perspective going. We still have that tornado warning for Marshall. We'll probably go back in and check on that again. We're not for Marshall, but for Harrison County. But you can just kind of get an idea of how long that line of severe thunderstorms and that wind is right now. The wind's at about 5,000 feet. We're exceeding 65 miles an hour, and it overspread all of East Texas earlier this afternoon. And as it has accelerated those thunderstorms forward. So one, they've picked up forward momentum. Some of that energy is being transferred down to the surface, and we're seeing that in the form of straight line wind gusts that are creating these severe thunderstorm warnings. At the same time, as those storms are racing out into perhaps some unstable air, that air is being ingested into the thunderstorm. And so as these winds from the west blow into the storm and push the storm forward, the inbound winds can help to create those quick spin-ups right on the leading edge. That makes it very difficult. And if one did produce a tornado, it may only last a few minutes. It may only be on the ground for about a few hundred yards, but it still is dangerous and still could do some damage. So that's why we're staying on the air here with this tornado warning in Harrison County. But just tremendous low visibility on Interstate 8. It's almost probably maybe less than a few hundred feet for anyone that is driving. That's why I say if you're leaving Longview and trying to go to Shreveport, or leaving Shreveport coming back to Longview, some date night that you've got going on over at Shreveport or something like that, or you have friends that you want to go visit tonight coming from Marshall, it's best to just sit still, sit tight until the line of thunderstorms moves on by. Let's go back to reflectivity, or I should say velocity, and see what we see inside that storm. I'll give you turn it over to Joel for just a minute while I check some of the questions and comments on Facebook and see if we can answer some of those.
Yeah, the rotational signal is still there just east of Hallsville. That where the green and the red kind of come together, that's kind of what we look for. That's winds moving towards the radar and winds moving away from the radar. That's what we typically look for when it comes to rotational signatures. And that's just going to be east of Hallsville, right along Highway 80 there. And that tornado warning polygon continuing along the I-20 corridor and just south of Marshall. So the city of Marshall, the central part of Marshall, not within this tornado warning, but if you go further to the south, you'll see that polygon where the exit where I-20 is and Highway 59. That's kind of where the edge of that is going to be. But just north of Darko and east of Hallsville, kind of a rotational signature there. Kind of looking a little weak at this time, but still enough to warrant a tornado warning that goes until 5 o'clock this evening for Harrison County. And again, the wind energy and the overall heat energy is starting to pick up just a little bit, especially over deep East Texas. So we're going to watch as the tornado threat kind of increases just because of that. And again, the Storm Prediction Center is expecting at least maybe 2 or 3 tornado warnings to be issued across parts of deep East Texas as we head into tonight. Or at least 2 or 3 spots to see maybe a couple tornado warnings in those general areas as the ingredients start to come together a little bit more. But the storm for the moment right now is over Harrison County across the southern parts of Marshall. And as we take a look a little bit closer, Hallsville along Highway 80, you definitely do not want to be driving in there. You know, on top of this rotation, we just have a lot of heavy rain, so you're really not going to have much of a chance to even see this tornado should it be on the ground. So we have a rain-wrapped situation here where you're going to have some low visibility, so you definitely want to stay off the road anyway, just because we got some very heavy rainfall, really low visibilities, and not only that, we do have a little bit of rotation within this thunderstorm. We don't have any confirmation whether or not it's on the ground at this time, but certainly the storm is starting to spin a little bit. It has been spinning since it's been over in Longview. So we're going to continue to watch as this continues to move into the eastern parts of the area and into Harrison County. A little bit of a weak signal there at this time. It looks like maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, the Weather Service is saying the rotation for the storm west of Marshall has essentially diminished, but they think there's enough of a reflectivity nub in the vicinity to justify continuing the warning in case of another spin up. Also, we looked at that area in southern Cherokee County. They are also, Weather Service is also looking at that same area. So if we want to head down into Cherokee County, there was that one, it would have been right there to the east and southeast of Alto. Headed, yeah, boy, that looks also sort of.
It's a little messy right now. It's a little messy.
It's very messy. There was just maybe a little bit of a strengthening updraft, but that doesn't look. And again, this is when they reported this at 4:29, so that's been about 10 minutes. So another couple of scans and things could have congealed back into a more solid line, but certainly nothing that we can pick out for sure out of any of those storms. So, yeah, at this point, I mean, it's just a matter of trying to ride the storm in Harrison County east into Louisiana, and then we can leave that one for the night and see what else can develop. But as you mentioned, the wind energy and the instability anywhere across southern Angelina County into San Augustine and Sabine County, and then farther points south of that, that is where they're solidly in the 5% tornado threat at this time. But that's also where there was probably the best helicity that was showing up in the data earlier this afternoon. So some of the streams we talked about earlier, we were looking at southern Angelina County in those areas.
There you go.
Yeah, not the afternoon to be out on Sam Rayburn.
No, not at all.
Or Toledo Bend or anything like that. So hopefully just the talk of severe weather has brought a lot of folks in and kept them off the lakes today. Just don't need anybody caught out there when this lightning goes through here. I don't see a ton of lightning. That's been the one thing about these storms so far, is that there has not been a ton of lightning except just an uptick there recently across those thunderstorms that are just south of Cushing and down to the south of Wells and just northwest of Cushing. By the way, if you're watching us from Cushing, and we do have some folks who are pretty loyal viewers, and we appreciate your allegiance to us. If you got a report that you can tell us in terms of what you witnessed wind-wise and or rain-wise, let us know. It looks like it's just really heavy rainfall at this point. And flash flooding was another big concern today, along with a quick spin-up possibility and some damaging wind gusts. But so far, no reports of any damaging wind gusts either from the National Weather Service anywhere across the area. Some of the trained weather spotters throughout East Texas have reported winds around 50 miles an hour, which wouldn't be quite up to severe limits, but doesn't mean that there couldn't be an isolated wind gust that would have reached a severe limit out there today. All right, we continue with this tornado warning until 5 p.m. for Harrison County. And as we continue to cover this storm, we continue to watch our Facebook page for any questions that may pop up here. And some folks are being playful on Facebook. That's kind of funny, talking about trampolines and stuff like that. So as long as no one gets hurt, I think we're okay. Tons of rain in Hallsville is what we heard. Wind was crazy for a second. Dave Newman says nothing bad now, so that should be expected. That storm has moved out. Let's see. Yes, in the clear in Longview. Big Sandy, Erica, aside from some rain and thunder, you are also in the clear in terms of severe weather for the rest of the night. Rusk, yes, slackening off right now. Emma wanted to know about the tornado. We did not have a tornado. We had a tornado warning, a circulation that showed up, but it was persistent, but apparently was too broad and too weak. So that we can, Susan Powell wants to take golf off so we can see. Susan, you can also pop over to our CBS19 Plus stream and on our Facebook page. Just look us up there, and then we will be able to we'll be able to continue to follow the storms there. Deneen, horizontal rain, where is that happening? Let us know where the horizontal rain is coming down. My guess would be somewhere in Rusk County or somewhere down into western parts of Nacogdoches County. Interesting to note on this tornado warning here, we'll go back and visit it again for Harrison County. That goes until 5 o'clock, but the circulation, again, the National Weather Service, new severe thunderstorm warning coming. I think this is probably going to be a reissue of something. Let me know what you find out, Joel.
Okay, looks like, yeah, there's this severe thunderstorm warning for Angelina, Cherokee, and Nacogdoches, Rusk. Looks like that might be just like a severe weather statement, possibly.
Oh, possibly so. Let me see. I'll look that up on the Weather Service chat room.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because it says 445.
Oh, here we go. This is a new one right here. So the rest of Nacogdoches County, including the city of Nacogdoches, Angelina, including the city of Lufkin, San Augustine, just the northwestern tip of San Augustine County, and then we have Shelby County, west of Center at this time. That's going to go until 5:30, and let's see if we can find out a few things about this. All right, here we go. We're talking about, that's going to be 5:30. We have information about what the criteria was. We're 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts potentially here.
Yeah, with that storm, I think it was 60 miles an hour.
Okay.
But radar indicated, again, so there were some storm spotters out there waiting to see some confirmation from the storm spotters just how strong these storms are. So Deneen said it was horizontal rain 20 minutes ago in Longview. Not going to be surprised by that. It was raining hard. It was coming down in sheets, reducing the visibility. Colleen, she was asking about moving golf off so we could see the whole picture. Colleen, we are also streaming on CBS. Oh, we may have already done that.
Yeah, I think we're
it's
good.
already off. Okay.
I think we're good there.
But yeah, we are over also at CBS19 Plus if you want to check us out there and on the Facebook page and, of course, on the YouTube channel. So if you want to get the clear picture without the golf on, or golf may come back on, I'm not real sure. It depends. I know we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, the end holes here, and so every once in a while, we can't please everybody at once, but we'll try. We'll try. All right, so severe thunderstorm warning 445. That should have expired for Angelina, at least this portion of southeastern Cherokee County and that little portion of Rusk County. Now, it's being extended until 5:30, and that is going to include, let me see if my eyes will, Angelina County. All right, that's just got it. Now, western parts of Nacogdoches County, including the city of Nacogdoches. Now it's been extended over into that very little corner of San Augustine and western parts of Shelby County. So dare I say, and I think we can say this, Cherokee County is out of the danger of that line of thunderstorms. It has moved out of Cherokee County. If we widen everything out, here's why these showers back here and thunderstorms, so we've worked over the atmosphere, we've taken all the energy out of it, the best winds have moved to the east, so yes, it's going to rain. It could even thunder well into late tonight and early tomorrow morning with just a little bit of a return of instability. But if we want to put all the ingredients together for severe weather, it's where that tornado watch is right now. And I would expect Smith County to come out of that watch within the next half hour. Cherokee County probably comes out soon. In Houston County, which I thought had the best chance to see severe weather today, and it has not happened there. Once that cell moves out of Houston County, and they'll probably wait until it moves out of Trinity, and then the National Weather Service office down in Houston will drop those two counties. So we are definitely going to see this paired back from west to east to the point where once we get to about 5 or 6 o'clock, it's probably going to remain for Panola, Shelby, Nacogdoches, Lufkin, St. Augustine, and Sabine County till 9 p.m. Just the way everything is moving, the way things are transpiring. So yeah, we're going to see quite a bit of an adjustment on the tornado watch coming up here. And I'm going to go back to that tornado watch and see if anything has dropped off from that. I'm going back to, let's see if we can go back to the beginning of this. Maybe not. Did you take me out of play? You took me out of play?
It's still in play.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not going to do that for me. So, all right. We'll just trust that it's doing that. So this tornado watch again goes until 9 o'clock tonight. All right. Let me pan back up here and see what we got in terms of the tornado warning. Looks like they dropped it, so they might have dropped it. Let me check with the Weather Service, Joel. Looks like they might have canceled that. Yeah,
that's quite possibly. I do not see it anymore. I know the rotational signature on the radar was actually fairly weak, and we were talking about the National Weather Service kind of seeing that as well, so that's some good news there.
Yes.
But the National Weather Service still has a severe thunderstorm warning out until 5 o'clock, and that's going to be in about 12 minutes. For Gregg, Harrison, Panola, and Rusk. So there's still some heavy rain. There's still some strong winds in there. So despite the tornado threat being gone, you got some very heavy winds, severe winds up to about 60 miles per hour. So the danger is not quite over, but the tornado risk has basically disappeared at this point when it comes to that tornado warning in particular. So that's some good news there.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to regular programming. We're going to send anyone who's watching golf on CBS19, you're going to go back to golf. We invite anyone who wants to continue tracking these storms to switch over to CBS19 Plus, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. We'll continue tracking those storms on our digital platforms. And then if we get another tornado warning that is imminent or inside of city limits or something like we had in Gregg County and in Longview about a half hour ago or an hour ago, we will come back on to CBS19. Thank you very much for being patient with us here at CBS 19 and letting us keep everybody up to date and informed about the severe weather. I know we broke away from golf just a little bit, but we'll get you back to golf. It is not over yet. You'll get to see the final couple of holes and the way the tournament wraps up. All right, I'll take a little pause, we'll go back to regular programming, and then we'll start talking again. All right, the stream is still up, still hot, still live, still talking about severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect here for Gregg, Harrison, Panola, Rusk County until 5 o'clock, so about the next 10 minutes. So we'll likely see Rusk County come out of the severe thunderstorm warning. Definitely we'll see Gregg County come out of that. Harrison County will probably stay in it. Not 100% sure, it might get readjusted, and Rusk County probably in the severe thunderstorm warning for a few more minutes. And then this one down here in Nacogdoches and Angelina County, that'll go till 5:30. So that one's going to stick until 5:30. So far, threat has been wind gusts close to 60 miles an hour, radar estimated. We did have the tornado warning earlier in parts of Gregg and Harrison County. Nothing realized, nothing that we know that made it to the ground. We still have the tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. for all the counties shaded in red, but I do expect some adjustment to come in within the next half hour on those tornado watched counties currently. So meteorologist Joel Robinson with me here on a Saturday. It's Valentine's Day for anyone who's been with us throughout the stream when we started just after 4 o'clock. We do appreciate your time. We do appreciate you spending the the Valentine's Day with us. And we have a lot of folks that are joining us here on the Facebook page. And I just really thank you very much for watching. And if you need to share this with anyone that you might know that lives down in San Augustine, Sabine, or Shelby County or Panola County that needs to know, or a student at SFA, because those thunderstorms are moving right in there. In fact, I'll probably try to call up the SFA camera here and see if I can switch that off while you look at radar on the air. We'll get back to the SFA camera and see what we got coming into SFA.
Yeah, as we take a look, we're still watching CBS19 live radar pretty closely right there. Nacogdoches, the city of Nacogdoches, all the way into Lufkin. This line of thunderstorms is becoming a little bit more organized, becoming a little bit more intense at this point, starting to get those ingredients together to really elevate that severe weather chance. And of course, we got those severe thunderstorm warnings to prove it. So the ingredients are coming together. We got the heat energy from the heat of the day. And of course, we do have the wind energy starting to pick up as well, supporting maybe some damaging wind gusts, which for now they have been mostly radar indicated, although we did see a 61-mile-an-hour wind gust report from Tyler Pounds Airport. That was about an hour ago-ish when we had Smith County under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that has since passed into some of our eastern parts of the area. So we had that one report, but as of right now, it's all been pretty much radar indicated. Even the rotational signatures have been radar indicated as well. But right now, we're just looking at severe thunderstorm warnings. No tornado warnings at this time, but we certainly do have a tornado watch that continues to be in effect until 9 o'clock for parts of East Texas. And now we're going to be watching as we continue into the rest of the afternoon for some of these counties to actually get dropped, because it's just this line that is going to be likely the most intense. We could have a couple of stronger thunderstorms as we head into the later parts of the evening and maybe into the overnight just behind this line. But this is going to be our main line here. We got a cold front coming in. This is all pretty much at this point, it's the forcing of the cold front on top of the heating from the actual environment. So now that we have those two things combined, now these storms are really starting to pick up momentum, whereas earlier they were just at those sub-severe levels. Do we have that Nacogdoches cam up where we can see?
Yes, let me go to it. I pulled it up and...
There we go, yep.
Oh,
okay.
They have it, so...
Yep, okay, so the sky's becoming a little bit more gray at this point. On our Nacogdoches cam, we'll take that real quick if we can. You know, we're continuing to put that radar in motion. Just, we'll put it on the wall if we can. We're continuing to track the radar. There's your Nacogdoches cam. Thunderstorms beginning to move in now. And you can kind of see where it becomes a little bit more light. That's when the rain starts to come in. I saw that earlier today as it continued to move into Smith County, where it becomes a little bit more light. It's not necessarily the end of the storm. Sometimes it can be, but in this case, the sunshine is starting to shine into or through the downdraft of the thunderstorm, where you'll see a little bit more rain. We saw a lightning strike there, so that you can really see the storms moving in at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So there's some pretty fast moving storms coming through. We can see it on our Nacogdoches cam. You can see the clouds really just pushing in there. So you folks over at SFA definitely want to make sure you're getting into your just get inside into a sturdy building. Again, no tornado risk right now. You don't have to take any tornado precautions right now, but certainly you want to make sure you are getting inside, as we do still have strong to severe winds. Actually, severe winds at this point still expected for Nacogdoches, SFA, into the city of Lufkin, Angelina County, and even into parts of Shelby County. So that's what we're going to continue to watch, this area of the line in particular, and we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings that continue to be in effect for areas further to the north. So, yep, starting to become a little bit more light. Starting to see that that rain starting to move in. Very heavy rainfall, gusty winds. It's all going to be on the table as it continues to head into the city of Nacogdoches. So again, you'll definitely want to make sure you're weather aware. Make sure to get inside as soon as you can. Get off the roads. Get into a sturdy building as fast as you can.
So let's go back to radar here. I've got a timeline on these showers and thunderstorms. They're essentially moving into Nacogdoches, as Joe pointed out, using the camera, but they'll move toward Lufkin 5 p.m., so that's just about 5 to 10 minutes away. Dunnigan by 5:15, Huntington 5:24, Chirino right around 5:35, then over towards Center. The northern end of that line arrives in Center about 5:30 or 5:44. Shelbyville at about 5:58, and then far eastern parts of Shelby County near Drecka on the north end of the Toledo Bend about 6:16. So I expect when those thunderstorms get here to have wind gusts potentially up to 60 miles an hour. Hail doesn't seem to be an issue, but the threat of a small, spin up tornado certainly there. But at this point, we're not getting a whole. I'm going to go turn on wind tracker here. You can see some of these stronger winds on the south side of Nacogdoches currently, right across Highway 59. So
there it is. It's a little weak signal right there.
So I'll just some of these straight line again. I got to turn off the warning real quick, but I can do that so I can sample those winds and I'll turn them back on for you. But just west of Highway 59, we're looking at, well, that is 26, but again, radar estimated could be stronger. Just east, let's see, we get there about 28. All right, well, my skills in pointing out and finding the hot pixels are not playing out here, but that signature certainly suggests right in here that there should be something right in here, something that is a little stronger in terms of a wind gust or gust of wind or something of that nature.
There's a little curvature right there. Sometimes when you get a little bit of that curvature, you can get some of the winds punching in, just punching into the storm, punching out of the storm. Sometimes you can get a little bit of rotation. It's not really that compelling at the moment, but it's just outside of Nacogdoches there. Yeah,
that wasn't storm relative. That was just velocity signature. This is storm relative, but it still doesn't look all that.
Okay.
Doesn't look all that crazy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look too bad. So that's some good news there. But still, we're expecting at least some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as a potential. We have that severe thunderstorm warning that continues for the city of Nacogdoches, rest of Nacogdoches County, down into Lufkin, Angelina County. And looks like algorithm's picking up on a little bit of rotation kind of towards wherever that tornado warning was earlier, if not just a little bit further to the north. We can check that out real quick, see what we can find there, just southwest of Karnak.
Yeah. The uncertain area.
The uncertain area.
Let me go back to velocity for you real fast.
Yeah, and one thing I want to note too is, some of these storms are so far away from the radar, the beam, the height gets higher and higher as you continue to go away from the radar. On top of that, you got the curvature of the Earth. So what we're seeing, especially if you're going way far away from the radar, say maybe deep East Texas, we're seeing what's way above into the thunderstorm, not necessarily where the ground is. So, plus the signal gets a little bit weaker, so we kind of have to rely on some ground truth and the best signatures that we have on radar. So that's what we're going to be kind of relying on for now. So far, no reports, so we're good to go there. But all we're kind of watching for here is just radar signatures here to kind of help us out here. Yeah,
the line, the leading edge of the line looks kind of raggedy. I'm not seeing anything that's like a sharp definition of a bow or anything like that.
No.
It doesn't look like it did a little bit earlier where there were those little noticeable inflow notches into the storm. So so we're just kind of, we have all kinds of phones here.
Yeah, we sure do.
That's you.
Yep,
all
that's
right.
me.
All right, so hey, Christopher, we went back on. We went back to programming. Okay, what about Lufkin? Is there a lot of lightning within the storm? Not a ton. I think that's what's there was a little bit. Let me go back down toward Lufkin.
Yeah, the storm is heading into Lufkin. It's right on the doorstep, right there. You're probably already seeing the gusty winds at this point, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of lightning here. And we're starting to see a little bit more energy come in, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see an uptick in lightning. But right now, not looking too terribly impressive at the moment, but just some very, very heavy rain. So if you're just in Lufkin, you're out and about, you're going to be expecting some low visibilities. And of course, you combine the heavy rain with the gusty winds. Yeah, that's not going to be the best scenario for date night tonight.
No. Yeah, as I was mentioning, a lot of folks who go to a movie in the afternoon, if they went to a noon movie, when they came out, it was pouring rain in Tyler and other areas, and that's certainly a possibility for the rest of the night with everyone that's out there tonight. We still have a great number of folks who are watching, so we really appreciate that. We'll continue to stream. As long as we have interest here, we'll talk about these storms here. Nacogdoches down toward Lufkin. Just had a question about Lufkin, about the lightning. There was not a ton of lightning within that storm. Still still severe thunderstorm warning till 5:30. We may be able to stay with this till 5:30 and see what happens. But that's it. That's the only severe thunderstorm warning right now. So they dropped the severe thunderstorm warning up toward Panola County and Harrison County, and those thunderstorms moved off. The overall wind field should be spreading into northwestern Louisiana right now and across parts of deep East Texas. So this is going to be our primary concern now from here on out for about the next, I'd say, hour or so, to get rid of those thunderstorms as they move east through Sabine County and through the southern end or through the Toledo Bend. But I'll throw this back into motion for us. And yeah, it's trying to firm up there, trying to get a little bit of a sharper edge. So there might be some winds that are increasing across the Lufkin area at this time. Let me go to the latest data. Let's pop it in there for velocity. And we'll zoom down. Oh, there's a little fun bright green area there south of Nacogdoches. Let's see how my skills are in finding some of the wind gusts in here. 68 miles an hour, all right? Okay. Yeah, so there could be very strong winds right here south of Nacogdoches, all right? Let us know if you live in this area. I think that's going to be south end of town, Woden over towards Swift. So right in here, just east of Highway 59, we've got some very strong winds. Davisville on up 59. So if you live in Woden, you're going to get hit with some very strong winds. Swift, even Nacogdoches, but our camera at Nacogdoches did not look like it was showing the tremendous wind speed that we were seeing from the wind tracker. All right, so right there, we got those bright greens down toward Moffett, Cedar Grove. Here's Woden. Let me see again if I can find another pixel that shows some. I'm back within that warning again. So anyway, that area is severe thunderstorm warning, but right in here, the potential here is for 60 to 65 mile an hour winds headed out 21 toward the south end of Nacogdoches. Let's see if we can pick out some roads for you. So if you live on FM 1275, strong winds about to move into your area. FM 2259, you've got strong winds ready to move into those areas. Currently crossing Rayburn Drive. Let me widen this and put a track. Let's track these. There's another area down here just to the north of Lufkin where some strong winds have developed. So we'll see if the Weather Service is watching any of these areas. But right there around Cedar Grove, right in here, there's some greens and reds. And so perhaps we're getting some stronger wind gusts into this area here at Cedar Grove on 59 just to the north of Lufkin. Let me go back to the other product here just because there is some red and green trying to show up. Severe thunderstorm warning till 5:30. Weather Service, let's see if they're watching that area down there to the south. Sometimes we'll see something and then we'll talk about it, and then all of a sudden the Weather Service will say, hey, we're watching this area here. All right, let's see, extends the tornado watch to the east. There's some information coming out about, I think, the tornado watch. Let me get my glasses so I can read. I can't see the fine print. All right. In Northeast Texas still let's see, in Texas, this watch still includes, till 9 p.m. They added 5 parishes in Louisiana. Didn't take out any of the East Texas counties yet.
I have a feeling that they'll probably take out some of the, like at least Smith County, when it comes to those areas eventually.
I would think. I mean, the line has moved well east of Smith County. Mm-hmm. It's still raining, but I don't think what we're seeing in terms of rain in Smith County is going to pose any threat for a tornado.
No. And that's the thing. When it comes to this line, it really just absorbed a lot of that energy that was even available. And now we're just getting into like a steady light rain at this point. And so that kind of that cools the air, eliminates any sort of instability. So at the very least, we'll see some rain, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, but basically after this line, our severe weather threat is going to be gone. So that's some good news there. So it's continuing to move away. We still have those severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of deep East Texas. That's going to go until 5:30. Angelina, Nacogdoches, San Augustine, and Shelby counties still in effect until 5:30. Not seeing a whole lot in the way of any sort of tornado threat either. It's really just going to be a damaging wind threat at the moment, but of course we'll keep you updated on the rest for the rest of the night, I should say.
Yeah, between Nacogdoches and Lufkin, we were picking up a wind gust, and that's probably now moved east of Lufkin. at around 60, radar estimated 60, 65, 60 to about 70 miles an hour. So we're not 100% sure that that's going to be exactly what those are, but I'll just zoom in on that area again. That's now east of Nacogdoches, headed toward the Woden area. Those are the strongest winds that we see, and let's just sample those and see what we're coming up with here in the Woden area. Oh, I got to turn off. Can you turn off the warnings so we can?
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
We know there's the severe thunderstorm warning in that area, but let's go east of Nacogdoches, so 37 miles an hour. Down here toward Woden, 35. Let me use a different product here. Take out the relative part and see if we can just get the motion of the storm. So 73.
Wow. Okay.
Again, but that's
All right.
going to be sampled, pretty far away from the radar. So maybe
it's a matter of whether these winds can really get down to the surface, because you can have crazy winds, maybe say 5,000, 10,000 feet up. But if they're not making it down to the surface, I mean, you're in good shape. But
yeah, frictional forces of the earth.
That's
Gonna
right.
Slow it down a little bit. So yeah, so there's some very strong winds there. Potential is there for some very strong winds to move through the Woden, Grigsby area. Nacogdoches has moved out of Nacogdoches. When we were looking at the camera, can we see the Nacogdoches camera again? I don't think that when we were looking at it, the storm was moving pretty quick, but I don't see anything that would suggest that the winds, at least that were in the or that moved through.
yeah, not looking too impressive with the winds, which is good.
Yeah.
Pretty calm right now. Just some heavy rain, maybe light to moderate rain, I should say, at this point. But yeah, not looking too terrible. But we still got that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. So we're going to watch for that potential wind to move potentially to the surface. Hopefully it doesn't, but we're going to watch that very closely, right?
That would be damaging wind for sure. I'll put it back on the warning here. We may just, we'll see how this plays out. We were looking at storm relative. When we took out the motion of the storm and we just looked at just the winds inside it, it was not as strong. The winds were checking out somewhere in the mode of about 35 to 40. So that might be more in line, or maybe 50, 55 miles an hour. So those winds have certainly moved east of Nacogdoches toward the Chirino area, and we continue with that severe thunderstorm warning till 5:30. I'd like to just kind of stay with it a little bit longer, and if we can get anything else, I'm waiting for the Weather Service to give us some information. Otherwise, we will end the stream for the time being. And let me see if we got any other questions from folks.
We had a question about Cushing. How bad will the winds be in Panola County, Carthage area? So we can take a look at that.
Oh,
real
yeah, go ahead,
quick.
take a look at that, because we'll probably catch some of those winds that'll move into Panola.
All right, we'll take it on over to reflectivity. So at this point, Cushing, you're in some light rain at this point. You're kind of good to go. I could have some strong winds just behind this, but you're pretty much good to go. You're right on that. You're right on that line where that severe thunderstorm warning starts. So you're going to be good to go. The main activity is to the east of you now. So there's the edge of that polygon, that box, that warning box. And so the storm that is of interest right now has moved off to the east. We got some lightning just north of the Appleby area and all the way into Nacogdoches. So the main area of storms that are moving through has moved away from Cushing. And then as we look into, let's say, Shelby County, Panola County, you are not in any sort of warning. You're still going to have some heavy rain. So Carthage, you're on deck to get some thunderstorms here. Could have some strong wind gusts, maybe between 40 to 50 miles per hour at this point. We'll see if there's any sort of uptick with that. But there's a fair amount of lightning in there. But right now, just some heavy rain, maybe some moderate wind gusts at this point, but nothing too concerning at this time. So that is some good news there. But yeah, this is really the main area of interest right now, this severe thunderstorm warning. The rest of the area as we go further to the north is non-severe, but certainly some heavy rainfall too. Very heavy rainfall that'll reduce your visibilities if you're heading out, say maybe on I-20. You definitely don't want to be on I-20 if you're just south of the Marshall area, or just even in Harrison County. And then you go into Carthage, you're not warned at this time. You go further to the south, you got that severe thunderstorm warning that includes southern parts of Rusk County and then into Nacogdoches County, and then Shelby County. You are within the severe thunderstorm warning. It has not moved into the area yet, but you're on deck to get some heavy thunderstorms at this point. And it looks like it's kind of just really intense over Lufkin, right over Nacogdoches right now. Can we take that Nacogdoches camera one more time, see what we can kind of see as far as the picture? Okay, yeah, it's starting to pick up just a little bit. The winds, they're not looking too bad. So that is some good news there. We could take that. Yeah, right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, the rain's really coming down at this point, reducing the visibility just a little bit, but not looking too windy out there, which is really good. But definitely some heavy rain that'll slow you down if you're heading outside for sure. So that's some good news there. Definitely want to make sure you're indoors, not traveling on the roads at this point. Got a nice strike of lightning there.
Oh.
Yeah, some decent lightning coming out of there.
I think Homer Bryce, is that going to be east of town, or are we looking at, let me go back and look at the radar. I'm trying to remember from my visits to SFA where Homer Bryce is in relation to downtown. And I should know that just off the top of my head, right? But,
It's a wild weather day.
yeah, right? Where'd my, oh, that's the wrong phone. That doesn't have radar on it.
Oh dear.
This one does. We're really peeling back the curtain for people.
Yeah, we sure are.
All right. Nacogdoches. Oh, there's the lightning's actually kind of tailing behind the heaviest line of thunder, the heaviest wind and rain in Nacogdoches. That's why we're seeing the lightning strike, and then probably maybe some. Too early to talk about wake lows yet, but maybe there's a little bit of a push. We're getting that wind that's coming in from behind, pushing that thunderstorm. Okay. They did drop that severe thunderstorm warning in Harrison County and in Panola County down to a special weather statement.
Okay. So yeah, not quite reaching that severe criteria, but I'm guessing 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts up there.
Most likely.
At this point. So the heaviest of the thunderstorms at this point is over Deep East Texas. But some very heavy rainfall, certainly some gusty winds still embedded within this area of thunderstorms. The heaviest, the most intense is going to be further to the south, Nacogdoches, Lufkin. They got that severe thunderstorm warning there, but still some very heavy rainfall. Got a lot of lightning within this as well, extending from Jefferson all the way just west of Carthage. Carthage, you're on deck. You're probably hearing thunder at this point. But this storm, basically this region of storms starting to move into the area. Very heavy rainfall, sub-severe wind gusts up to about 40, maybe the occasional 50-mile-an-hour gust at this point. So still pretty hazardous, but not enough to really cause widespread property damage or anything.
All right, so we continue with the severe thunderstorm warnings again for Angelina, Nacogdoches, San Augustine, Shelby County until 5/14. That's weird. So there must they must be going to reissue something or redo something with that. Tornado watch, that was at 5 p.m. The Weather Service still came out with a tornado watch that included Smith, Trinity, and Upshur County till 9. Okay, so we'll see if that changes maybe a little bit in an hour or so. I'm surprised by that. Otherwise, back to the feed. Let's see, a lot of folks were wanting to get back to golf. We did go back to golf, by the way, a long time ago. So hopefully everyone who was not in the line of the thunderstorms is okay, and that we were trying to check on damage around the area. We've not heard of anything. So apparently we're just still looking at the thunderstorms rolling through, but no reports of any damage. So we might come away with one of these situations where you get the warnings, you get a bunch of wind, and you don't get any damage. Or if the damage is there, it's out in a rural area nobody is talking about right now. Amateur radio, ham radio operator, a lot of rain, no wind in Appleby. That ought to give you an indication of how these thunderstorms are moving. And Appleby's going to be up there in northeastern Nacogdoches County, and so that's interesting. Moderate to heavy rain in Lufkin, no hail or strong winds reported by ham radio operators there. So it looks like we're just kind of getting general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms over parts of Deep East Texas. So what that tells me is I think it might be time to take a break and kind of reset everything, reevaluate. Let's see what's going on with those. So again, thank you for watching our extended coverage. We came on at just about 4 o'clock. We were first on to break into programming, by the way, on CBS with the tornado warning in Gregg County in the city of Longview. And we were on many minutes ahead of everyone else. So appreciate you guys staying with us after that initial warning as we track the thunderstorms through the rest of the area. Again, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for about the next 14 minutes, but all of the spotter reports coming in from Nacogdoches and Angelina County are heavy rainfall, but no wind or very little wind at all. So wind threat certainly looks like it has died down appreciably with that storm. It would look like right in here we'd have a little bit of maybe a push of wind, but just note the lack of lightning. So again, it's that lack of instability today that is aiding in keeping us anything where we would be. If this was late March, April or May, different story, but it's February. And so that is certainly playing into that. So thanks for watching our Facebook page and our stream on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel, and on CBS19 Plus. We'll be back with another stream coming up here probably maybe in an hour or so, kind of just to wrap things up and watch the last of these thunderstorms move out. If there is another warning issued ahead of that, of course, we'll pop back on. Have a great evening, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day.